Hi there, Pear Plant Girl here. So I'm out here today. It's a chilly one today. It was actually kind of drizzling this morning, but I'm out here. I still haven't planted my garlic, and we are now at the 15th of September, so I really only have about 6 weeks or so, give or take a week, before my ground is probably going to be frozen. Weather can be variable here, but from the sounds of the long-range forecast, what the weather gurus are saying is that it's going to be a cold and nasty November, December, January here, and so I assume that means that our ground's going to be frozen by the end of October. Usually is anyways, or very close to it. So anyways, I need to get my garlic planted. I want to put it in this bed here where I had some Brussels sprouts, some kohlrabi, kale, and celery. And I still have the celery here. Everything else has been cleaned out. So the celery I need to clean out, so I'm just going to take it and I'll put it in this bucket here, and I'll actually take it in the house, wash it up real well, chop it up, and I'll freeze it. And it works great. Obviously not as fresh celery, but it works great for adding to like soups and stews and different dishes where it's going to be cooked anyways. So that's what I'll be doing with any of my leftover celery. And then I'll be able to just take my heads of garlic. These are actually last year, so some of them are mushy. I'm hoping I have enough here. I'm hoping I have enough. Buster. Oh, there goes that garden helper knocking things over again. So I'm hoping I have enough decent garlic in here to plant. Otherwise I'll dig into the garlic that I harvested this year, but yeah, this one I can tell is mushy, so I haven't gone through it yet. I didn't think I was going to be able to get this done today, so I hadn't bothered to go through, but I think some of these heads aren't going to be good, but I have quite a bit in here, so I should be able to find enough, I think, to get a couple good rows. So I'm not going to really make this a how-to video because I'm not doing it properly. I don't have the fertilizer I want, and I cannot find it in the stores. I think I'm going to have to order it online. I don't know. It's just still having trouble getting a hold of some things here. It's weird. But anyway, so this is just more of a what I'm doing today, and what I'm doing today on September 15th is pulling out my celery so I can clean it and freeze it, and getting my garlic planted in this bed here. So if you want to see a more in-depth video on how to plant garlic, I do have a few, and I'll put some links so you can check those out. But I'm just going to get to work here. Hopefully it doesn't rain, and I get this job done. I don't think I've ever had my celery go to seed before, but I don't know if you can see there's little flowers forming on it. I do have a really big thick stalk in the middle of this that I'll probably just take straight to the compost because that's no good, but I'll save that guy and that guy. I thought I saw a ladybug in here. Thought it was raining on me again, but I think it's just the celery dripping on me. So I think this one is such a big stalk, I'm just going to take the side shoots off. Now when I'm planting garlic, I kind of need the roots out of the way. So that stuff will go in the compost, and this will go in my freezer. Here's a nice, this one hasn't gotten so mature as the other one. You can see all the nice stalks of celery on it. I was pulling a lot, just taking the ribs off as I needed them off that other one. I think that's why it kind of went the way it did. Let's see if I can get this out. So I'm going to leave the roots behind. I should have brought a knife out. There. So that's a nice stalk. Nice bunch of celery there. And I'll just take this big pile of roots and put it in the compost so it's not in my way here. Normally I'd leave it in the ground, but being that I'm planting garlic here, I want it out of the way so they're not hitting the garlic. Looks like I woke somebody up. With all this messing around here. Little wasp there. It's pretty chilly. And a little ladybug too. Yeah, the little creatures are noticing the cold today. When it's overcast, temperatures in the low teens, it's pretty cool. Okay, so I've got my celery all pulled up just in my truck here. And I have all the roots and that I pulled off that'll just go in the compost. And my bed is nice and clean. I'm just gonna give it a quick little kind of smoothing out, roughing up just to make sure there's no big divots or anything in it. And then I'll get that garlic kind of separated and planted out here. I added some native soil from an area I was digging up recently and I just needed somewhere to put it. I put it in this bed. And I think it's pretty good topsoil that I was taking off there, so hopefully I don't regret it. There's some big chunks here. Not the same as what I'm used to working in my raised beds. Like I said, some of these aren't the best, so that feels good. So I'm just going to go through and pull out anything that has squishy cloves on it. Oh, that one's just absolutely mushy. That smells bad too. Good. You want the bigger ones. Are the better ones when you're saving, so I'm glad I have a few that are still solid. I'm surprised, it seems like the smaller ones are what's in better condition. Alright, so I got quite a few here. I can't really see them, but there's quite a few here. And several that are on a nicer size here, so we'll start with these, see how far I get. I'd like to at least get a couple of rows in the back, and I'm thinking then that'll leave a little bit of room in the front for some lettuce in the spring. But we'll see how far I get with this. So first thing I need to do is just separate these out now, so I'm just going to work on that. You can see some of these have already started to sprout, but that's okay. I'll plant them like that anyways. They've just got a little head start getting going. So I'm just trying to separate them out from the head into individual cloves. You see that one single clove there? And I'll leave the paper wrapping on them and I'll just plant them like that. So like I said, it's not a how-to, but that's the basics. They'll go down about this far, and I usually just kind of do this for spacing. So I'm just gonna get to it. So when I start my next row, I'll stagger them. So I don't know if you can see, there's like two here, one here, one here. So my next row will come out and I'll go kind of to make like kind of a triangle from where the others were. That's a big clove. Kind of feels like there's two in there, but it really looks like just one, and I can't separate it. I think that's just one. It's a monster. Oops. I need to get more pins and pin this down better. Do that after. So I'm just laying them out right now, and I'll plant them in after. But if I have them all laid out, then I don't lose track of where they are. And I'm grabbing just a nice clove there. Yeah, this head only had 4 on it, so it's nice big cloves. That's what I want. So since I don't have any fertilizer or anything to kind of build the soil back up from having those heavy feeders of the celery and the Brussels sprouts not in here, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this rough homemade compost on there. Help protect it a little bit too from the cold weather while they're getting their roots settled in there. I went through the celery out while I was outside, and this is the ribs I'm going to keep off of it. And then I left a lot of it. And now the leaves would be great. You could save them, but I just don't need that much celery. And I find once they're frozen, they're kind of not as easy to just break apart and throw into something. And I also, it was nice to be able to do it outside because I could get rid of some of the slugs out here and some of the pieces that had been more damaged by slugs, and one big rotten piece. That'll be lots of celery. Like I said, I'll just wash it real good, chop it up into a nice diced celery pieces, and I'll just throw it in some freezer bags and freeze it like that. Works well. Well, there's a job done. I've been kind of putting this off, waiting for this bed to get cleared out, and I'm glad I got out here and did it because it doesn't take very long to do. And now I think I counted about 50 cloves of garlic planted. Most years I have them all come up really well for me. This spring, they didn't come up as well. I don't know if there was something different about our winter or what happened with them, but hopefully I get the 50 coming up for me. But I decided to go ahead and do all 4 rows just in case I have some that don't come up next year, and then I'll still have lots of garlic. It's okay to have extra. It kind of sucks if you're short. So, and I had two little heads here that didn't fit in, but that's fine. 50 heads 50 heads if I get them all up here will be good for a good harvest for me next year. So I don't really need these. I'll save them. I'll just take them in and use them in the kitchen because they're just from my saved garlic from a harvest a couple of years ago already now, so they need to be eaten, and they're fine to do that. They've been treated with nothing because they're my own organically grown garlic. This little bit of compost that I forgot I had sitting here is great. It'll break down even more over the winter or over the fall and into the spring, and feed the soil here and get that garlic off to a good start. So like I said, if you're curious about how to actually, a little bit more in depth, how to plant and grow garlic, I'll put some links to some other videos down below. But this is just what I'm doing in the garden today, and just bringing you along for it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Enough here. I'm hoping I have enough. Buster.